Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, July 6th. Today we will have winds picking up late in the day along the Sierra Front, along with still a few isolated thunderstorms possible across northeast Nevada into southwest Idaho ahead of a wave that's moving through the Pacific Northwest. These storms should be pretty isolated but may be on the drier side. As we move into Wednesday and Thursday, we'll see a greater increase in winds as the trough moves across the northwest into the northern Rockies. We will see gusty winds across Idaho into northern Nevada and also the Sierra Front Wednesday. These winds will likely be borderline with gusts in the low 30s, but a greater increase in winds on Thursday across much of Nevada into northern Utah and Idaho. We also could see some isolated storms still across parts of Idaho ahead of that wave on Wednesday. These thunderstorms would certainly be on the drier side and moving fairly quickly with the gusty winds. Over the last 24 hours, we just saw isolated thunderstorms across Idaho and Wyoming down into Utah, with generally a mix of precipitation. Some areas in Idaho did see some light precipitation. Great Basin fire activity is shown here in the red circles. Plenty of initial attack across the Great Basin, but no new large fires. Over the last 7 to 14 days, any precipitation we have seen is associated with thunderstorm activity and mainly over the southern half of the Great Basin, with just very spotty areas that have received precipitation further north. Currently, our fuel conditions have certainly recovered in areas of the Arizona Strip and Utah that did drop from the recent precipitation with thunderstorms, but have increased to back above the 80th percentile, and still areas in Idaho that have not seen any moisture with recent thunderstorm activity or very little are still showing ERCs above the 80th percentile. Currently, our ERC charts, again showing that little dip in Idaho, which only brought the ERCs down out of the record area, but still well above normal. And we are seeing those ERCs climb again over parts of Utah, so still above normal for the time of year. The satellite image for this morning shows high pressure still dominating the Great Basin. However, a trough of low pressure will be setting up off the west coast, pushing weak short waves through the area, again causing our increase in wind and still some isolated lightning today and tomorrow. So today we will see again those winds increase mainly along the Sierra Front, but very late in the afternoon with possibly a few hours of wind gusts above 30 miles per hour in those dry conditions, which will increase the possibility of holdovers. So again today we will see relative humidity drop into the single digits and low teens. Again, the winds mainly be increasing along the Sierra Front into western Nevada, again late this afternoon. Otherwise, winds will be generally light across the Great Basin. But we could see those isolated thunderstorms develop over northeast Nevada into southern Idaho, also even over parts of central Idaho. Any coverage today will likely be isolated, but certainly on the drier side, but some of these areas have seen recent thunderstorm activity. As we move into Wednesday, we will see the trough move into the Pacific Northwest, so winds will be increasing across parts of Idaho. Still could see some isolated lightning on Wednesday up over central Idaho, maybe even eastern Idaho, so we will have to watch that, as with the winds moving in, these storms will be faster moving. Relative humidity still in the single digits to low teens. Again, winds pick up across Idaho with gusts mainly in the 20s to low 30s, and just more of our typical zephyr along the Sierra Front, but also winds starting to pick up in northern Nevada with most of the gusts in the 20s. On Wednesday, again, those isolated storms could be located over the eastern half of Idaho, maybe even dipping down into the Uinta Basin. Looks like coverage right now, again, remaining isolated, but could be a little bit faster moving. On Thursday, we have the trough moving into the northwest, so a greater increase in winds and aerial coverage and in strength across much of Idaho into the northern half of Nevada and western Utah. Relative humidity remaining quite dry, and you can see the wind gusts on Thursday really pick up, especially along the Sierra Front and over eastern Nevada into western Utah, where these wind gusts could exceed 35 or even 40 miles per hour, with those gusty winds continuing up across Idaho. So again, the main threat with the recent lightning will be holdovers. No real precipitation expected. Anything with thunderstorms over the next 2 days will be very spotty and light. As we move into Friday, we will see the ridge dominating the Great Basin yet again and building north. We will see a return of very hot temperatures. Many areas will be remaining near 100 this week, but will really start to increase later this week into the weekend, and those gusty winds push over the Uinta Basin and the northern Wasatch mainly on Friday. So again, the possibility of holdovers. Going through Saturday and Sunday, we will see again that ridge dominating. We could see some thunderstorms pop up over far southern areas going into the weekend, but otherwise temperatures will probably be near records over parts of Nevada and just very hot in other areas of the Great Basin, with a return to brown in all of our significant fire potential for our PSAs. This trend continues on Monday. Again, we'll be watching mainly under this ridge for any moisture that can creep up to give us some isolated thunderstorms, but right now any coverage through the weekend looks to remain pretty isolated. Looking at the 7-day total precip, again, we'll be watching those southern areas for any little pushes of moisture that could increase our thunderstorm chances, but other areas, again, mainly hot and dry. The 8 to 14-day outlook shows well above normal temperatures over the western half of the U.S. going into that third week in July, and then drier conditions. So any moisture we have looks like it may affect far southern areas, but other areas of the Great Basin, if anything, we'll see some very hot and dry conditions. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.